Well, hello, did you miss me? I was gone for 2 days. Hi, it's BDevine. This is a video on invasion of boundaries. It's funny because I was speaking to my son Adrian this morning and yesterday, which stopped me from my video making yesterday, and the day before I was shopping, so there's that. But I was speaking to my son this morning about it being really important that boundaries are now in place for just about everything. And I'm hearing from you, some of you, that people just keep on overstepping. People try to guilt trip and try to hook you into doing something that you don't want to do. And the reason you don't want to do it is because people should know by now how to really listen to their own self, how to listen to their own internal self, their intuition, their instincts, right? To follow their path. So this message is for anybody today, and I've written up some stuff for us who feel like their boundaries are being tested, invaded, or ignored right now, right? If people are talking over your no or pretending not to hear you or guilt tripping when you step back, okay, you're not imagining it. The field is testing who you are now against who you used to be, right? So your growth triggers these boundary invasions. There's a reason that as soon as you grow, certain people push harder. You shifted. You stopped being the version of you who always said yes, who was always there to help, always fixed things, always replied immediately, always made space whether you had it or not, right? People are noticing this. The old role failed a lot of other people's comfort. So what some people do to me is they try to guilt me into giving them some help by saying, well, I know you don't really want to do this, but I'm going to ask anyways, basically what they're saying. Or I'm going to make you feel bad if you don't help by the rest of the nonsense I have in my email, right? Or you need to do this for me since you're not going to do it. And the answer that they get is not very, if they get an answer, it's not very, oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, let me help. Oh, I'll just do it. No. The whole point of this work is that if you're being given the guidance of trusting your intuition, right, of listening to your inner self, but then you're still asking for help everywhere else to make sure that it's right for you, or depending on someone else to give you all of the answers, and regardless of whether you look up to that person as knowing or whatever, the whole point of this whole life is for us to develop our flame sovereignty. And we can't do that if we're always checking in on what someone else thinks of our ideas, our focus, our growth, our rebirth, whatever it is. Boundaries have to be put up and are put up in place for a reason. And it's not because you're suddenly a different person and a mean person. And those people come at you with, well, I know this is really going to hook them into service, right? You're not. You're just simply saying no to people's demand on your time and your energy, right? Because it's taking your time and your energy to focus on where you're going and what you're doing, where the thing is, and bringing the flame in and being strong, right? So you'd always said yes before, you don't now. You always fixed things or ran to help. Why? Because you would feel bad if you didn't. And you always made space whether you had it or not. Those days are over. If you want peace, that is. If you think that other people are going to change and you can just keep going, but they have to get out of your way, it's not how it works. That's just saying that you won't change either, right? The old role fed a lot of other people's comfort. Same with me. Everyone was used to me having all the knowledge, all the answers, all the messages, all the guidance, all the healing, all the talks, all everything, all the time. And I do, right? That's just how I am. But I didn't have any help to get there though. That's what made it stronger for me. So if my position is, hey, you guys have all got this, got it within, you don't need to question it. It is what it is. You will get stronger every single time you do that, till asking a question of somebody else is so far away from you, it would just feel, that would feel weird. That would feel very bizarre. I never ask anyone anything. I never, who am I going to go to? Who am I going to say, what do you think about that? I know what I think. I know what's coming. I know what's going. I know what's left. And I know what I have to do. Some of it is uncomfortable. Having to say no to some people is very uncomfortable. Saying, look, the answer was this. You're not following this. You're overthinking this. Go ahead. Go forward. Right? Some people will continue to coddle others. It's not that they're trying to really help others. It's so that nothing bad would be said about them. You see? And that's where our downfall happens in the first place. It's emotional. It's emotional. So, when you start honoring your energy and your time and your path, those who's benefited from the old you, they're going to feel threatened, abandoned, or exposed. They often won't say, I'm scared of losing access to you. Instead, they just take a jab, question your intentions, and then ask for something. So you literally get a jab, then they question why you might be doing what you're doing or not, or whatever it is. And then they still ask you if you can then refer them to somebody else, or maybe help them with something else, or maybe get them out of something else, or can they bring someone else to you? So it's not being too sensitive. Your soul shows you really clearly that these dynamics can't come with you where you're going. Definitely for me. The dynamic of someone who refuses to trust their own energy, intuition, and focus on where they're going. The energy of someone who always needs someone else to reassure them has to go for me, because that is not helping anybody. To continue to regurgitate the same messages. For a person to continually look outside of themselves, for someone else to say that it's okay, or for someone else to give you a title, or for someone else to give you some sort of egoic boost, or whatever it is, right? That will never help you to evolve. It will never help you to strengthen. It won't improve your abilities at all, because you'll be second guessing yourself all of the time. And we know what happens when we second guess everything, right? When we don't trust our first instinct, what happens? Everything goes to hell. Not right away, but eventually. So the same thing on your journey. If you constantly need reassurance, get it from your inner self, meditate, journal, ask questions of yourself, connect with your guardians. That's it. When we learn to do this, we become very powerful. Okay? So, you're not required either to enter or re-enter into old paths. Some people do that by saying, can I just give you this much money if you'll do this for me? And I have to say no. No. There's a lie many empaths and healers are trained into, and that is, if you can help, you must help. And if you don't, you're unselfish, you're unkind, you're selfish, you're unkind, and you're unspiritual. You must help everybody. In my case, a little bit different. There's almost 5,000 videos of helping you here on YouTube. There's publications, there's the academy. So I feel like my time of constantly stopping to help others in a one-on-one situation is just about over. Group situations do so much more. The power behind them, the ripple effect that it has, and I can reach a larger audience. So I'm learning that the one-on-one, constantly stopping, constantly pulling back, constantly going backwards and rolling backwards and having to deal or whatever I have to do, I've done my 35 years of time doing that for humanity. more than you realize, right? Constantly losing any life because I'm always working. So I don't have that same opportunity as others to go on holidays and do this and do that and whatever, right? Because of the life that we've developed and the life that I've developed here. So the lie keeps you on those old paths of doing or being in service as a spiritual person, but nobody helps you. You're supposed to do it, but nobody reciprocates. So you learn to continue to give, hoping that at some point, someone's going to recognize it, someone's going to, do something, or something's going to happen for you. It doesn't work that way. You're not required to re-enter into conversations that drain you. Reopen doors that you closed for truth. Keep playing a role just because others are comfortable with that version of you. The snide comments that I've had. Thinking to myself, so you just wanted me when I was just doing, here's a card of the day? Like what, is that what you wanted? If so, go to my Facebook page. It constantly is regurgitating the old videos. But yeah, it's like, really? You're mad at me because I'm no longer in creating a dependent world? And I fell for it all. Believe me, I fell for it all. I began to, feel like this is what you're supposed to do. Sort of guilt tripped into doing it, right? So, they want the old path, the old services, the old access to you. But the deeper self has already walked on. So when your boundary is invaded now, recognize that invitation. Are you going to reenact the old contract or stand in your new one? Now, I don't care whether anybody, like this, to me, this is not about a popularity contest or anything like that. To me, this is about getting a bigger message of truth out to humanity, something that we already have within us. So I love it when people comment. I love it if you like the videos or whatever, but I don't expect like hundreds and thousands of people to just go, wow, because that's not what it's about. I know that plenty of people sit in the background and don't ever comment, but it's helping you. So this is fantastic, right? You avoid boundaries because you can't speak. Not because you can't speak, but you dread the reaction, right? So it's like, I'd always be like, oh, okay, I'll just do it this one time or whatever, because I didn't want to have to deal with anyone thinking anything badly. And that's the truth. And I'm sure it's the truth with you, where you'll let some people get away with something because you're just having the fight with them, or having it's just not worth it to you, or that's harder. But, you've been punished in the past for telling the truth. You've been gaslit for having your own needs, or shamed from stepping back, right? So the fear is, if I say what I really mean, they won't like me. They'll twist it, or they'll leave. See? So here's the reframe. Your job is to spread and speak truth with as much clarity and kindness as you can. Their reaction is their classroom, not your assignment. You're not responsible for how someone chooses to hear your boundary. The story they tell about you afterward, or the drama they create to avoid looking at themselves. A clean boundary sounds like, this doesn't feel right for me anymore. I'm not available for this kind of support now. Without feeling guilty about it. I wish you well, but I'm stepping back from this dynamic. No essays, no over-explaining, no begging to be understood. Your nervous system has carried enough. Okay? So here's the energetic truth of boundary invasions. And it's funny because like I said to you, this is what's brought this up to me today, because my son was talking to me this morning about all of the things that he's learning. And one of them is this as a big lesson. So the energetic truth of boundary invasion. Energetically, when someone invades your boundaries, they are saying, my comfort is more important than yours. My access to you matters more than your own well-being. And when you tolerate it, even silently, your body hears, my truth doesn't matter as much as keeping the peace. My needs are negotiable if someone pushes hard enough. That's what your body hears you saying, right? And your field starts to dim to match that belief. But when you hold your boundary, even shaking, even scared, right? Your field hears, I'm worth protecting. My energy is sacred. I'm allowed to choose who sits at my table. And it's not about, being mean either. It's not. It's that if someone respects you, then they're okay with whatever it is that you are saying. If they don't respect you, they never respected you. They just want what you have, or want what you can give, or want where it is, whatever. And your life starts responding differently when your body knows that it's worth protecting. And new people appear who respect the first no. Old loops stop replaying because there's no opening, right? Inner exhaustion begins to lift because you're not bleeding energy into dead agreements, right? So someone came up to you and said that they're evolving, they're ascending, they're on, they're doing an amazing job, they're getting all of this information, but yet they're asking you what you think, how you can help, and how you would process it. What do you think's happening there? My first thing is, well, if you've ascended so far, what do you need me for? Have you really ascended? Or what's happening? Because if you have no need to ask. You see? And that's the point. Sovereignty, flame sovereignty, is about understanding that you already have all of the answers. Understanding that the truth's already within you. And if that's the truth, and that's the way, and I'm helping you remember all of this, right? Then you have an experience. So keep it to yourself and do something with it. There's no need to freak out about every little thing that happens. This is what happens to a lot of people, though, because they're so used to someone congratulating every move that they make that if you don't, you're a jerk. No. Old loops will stop replaying because there's no opening. Inner exhaustion begins to lift because you're not bleeding energy into dead agreements, right? So from today forward, this is something you could say. I release the role of being endlessly available. I'm no longer the emergency contact for people who ignore their own intuition. I'm willing to be understood in order to stay I'm willing to be misunderstood in order to stay true to myself. My boundaries are not attacks. They are declarations of self-respect. Excuse me. And when someone crosses the line, okay, you can say, I'm not available to help with that. That's not something I can offer anymore. I'm changing how I use my time and energy, so I won't be doing this going forward. Short, clear, no apology necessary. If someone doesn't know what you're doing, or someone doesn't understand that you've changed, and they have fears, and they have all of this tumultuous energy, why would you then want to bring it back to yourself when you've totally worked so hard to get rid of it? You've worked hard to get rid of all the nonsense, and here it is in your face again going, me, 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 right? So why would you go back to all of this to have to pull yourself up and out of it again? That's not where we're at anymore. The problem with the old ways and the old systems and the old spiritual things was It literally created a dependency frequency. And it wasn't meant, and not everybody even knows, and they're trying to help and all the rest of it. But unfortunately, what people hear is, this person's going to help me, and if they don't, I'm going to make them feel like the lowest piece of you know what on the ground, because they're supposed to be doing that. It's like saying a hairdresser, well, you know, they should just be giving away haircuts because that's what they're good at. A lawyer, you should just be giving free legal advice because that's what you're good at. Don't you know that's God-given gift? Someone who is a musician, well, we don't need to buy you music because you should just be giving it to us because you're talented. And people treat spiritual teachers like myself as though we should just be doing this because after all, that's who you are. After a while, if someone kept on asking, I've seen people fall apart on video before, right? I've seen this happen where they can't take it. They can't take either constant abuse or constant defending yourself or constantly having nobody respond to anything. So they just can't just have this fall up. I've seen it. I've seen it more than once. Many times. So we're changing how we're using our time and energy. And ask yourself, in whatever job you're doing right now, how would you like it if you were told that you had to do it for free because you're good at it? Or because God made you that way? Or you're gifted, but you got to do it for free. So, you know, you can't have anything coming in to pay for all the things that you have to have, or else you're bad, you're a ripoff. I wonder how everyone in society would feel. We need to normalize how we are spending our energy positively and normalize boundaries. So old paths often knock one more time just to see if you're leveling up or not. Coming back one more time just to drive you crazy. And the old path can look like a person just comes in when there's a problem. Or a person never integrates what you're telling them. They just constantly want more and more and more and more. Or studying more and more and more, but nothing's hitting. It's just looping around, right? A friend who competes with your growth while saying that they support it. A family member who refuses to see you beyond a certain point, or beyond what you were before, or when you were 12 or something. And when these show up now, don't say to yourself, why is this happening again? Just say, what version of me is this trying to drag back into? What version of me is this trying to drag back into? And then responding from who you are now, not who you were. The old you over-explained, was guilt-tripped into doing something you didn't want to do to keep the peace. The old you justified what you were doing. The old you tried to end things nicely and sweetly so no one's upset. But not for you. Not for you. And the you that's emerging simply says, no, chapter's shut, and just walks away, regardless of them having a tantrum about that. I do apologize, my phone wiggles because it's on the back of my table, and so if I accidentally hit my table a little bit, it goes anyway, saying yes. So we are giving ourselves permission to have boundaries. We're giving ourselves permission to change. We give ourselves permission to step off old paths. And even if others preferred us where we were, like, you know. Or another thing that they'll do is like, oh, you've changed. Oh, your light is dimmed. Oh, something's different about you. Yeah, I'm not putting up with your crap anymore is what you'd say, right? I mean, some people say, I haven't seen you for ages. Exactly what I was intending. Yes, you haven't. Oh my God. So we're not here to be an endless source of energy for everybody, for those who refuse to grow. We're here to live our path fully, honestly, freely. That means we have strong boundaries. When you respect yourself, others also respect you. If they're used to getting their old way by throwing a jab or guilt tripping you, they will continue to try to do that unless they know there's no further access. Even if you've told people there's no further access, they still may try to pry the door open and then make you feel like you're a jerk because you're not as high as they are. And I'm like, well, if you're that high, then why do you need me? It's as simple as that, right? Okay. So talking to my son about this, and he did the exact same thing, sort of like trying not to have people think badly of him, but giving up his time, his space, and his freedom so that the other person could feel comfortable. Yet it didn't work out that way because they still overstepped and they still yelled and screamed at him and everything like that. And I was just saying to him this morning, this is moving up a level, because if you don't listen to yourself and where you want to go in your focus, you're constantly going to feel drained by everyone else's demands, and then you're going to be annoyed at that. So you're making a decision. Everything's of our choosing. So when your soul, you as a soul, when you begin to upgrade, your life doesn't quietly go, oh, yay. It resorts itself. So when you stop overgiving, you stop rescuing, you stop answering every crisis, you stop offering constant help. The field does a few things. As I said, it tests the new settings. Old patterns approach, perhaps one more time, same face, same energy, or new person with the same script, right? This has happened many a time. Yeah, so people saying that you've changed, I know you don't want to help me, but I just need one more thing from you. I can't tell you how many times those exact words have been said to me. Like, really? These are not random. These are tests. Will you stand in the new contract and keep your energy clear and focused and ready to move ahead? Or are you going to feel like you don't want someone to think badly of you, so you'll just help even though they're just sending you a guilt trip? Like, it's really hard. And I know it's really hard because, as I've said, this has happened to me time and time and time again. I literally said at the beginning of the year that I'm not doing tarot readings anymore. But I have some people that will say, but me? Will you do them for me? And I can't do that anymore. No. It doesn't even feel right anymore because all of the information is flowing in a different way. So it's almost like me stepping back 10 years kind of thing, and then have to drag myself back to the present. You know what I mean? You will know what I mean, as I've had a few people tell me that do cards or whatever, they have no interest in it. Now, I have a course out there. If you do want to learn to do tarot properly, there's a course out there, right, at the Academy. And it's easy. You can pay it off month by month. You get a certificate. You can do it if you want to, right? And just because I'm not doing it doesn't mean you people don't have to do it. You know, like I have to do the cards sometimes for my son because he's just getting into all of this. He likes to look at it, right? Whatever. But people who feed off the old you feel cut off because they got used to this free emotional processing. Like, oh, this is happening to me. What do you think? Well, I don't want to think about it. You know, that's the truth these days. I don't want to process this for you. You know, it's different when, you know, you're working with someone in particular, right? And of course you've got to process things because you're working with that person. The person is working on their growth, on their forward movement, they're lifting, they understand the flame, they're moving ahead. You at your job, say you're working with someone at work, but they just don't get it. And then there's another person that does, right? What are you going to do? Are you going to keep banging your head against the wall over here? Or are you going to keep going with someone who's on the same wavelength, right? You're going to do that. It's going to happen more and more and more. So people fed off you feeling comfort knowing that you'd always just be there too, right? So your boundary feels to them like a rejection, a punishment. It's nothing like that. So they push through guilt or backhanded comments or energetic invasion. Keep on coming even though you've clearly said no. So the collective, you all who are listening, you are relearning how to relate. People are going to feel bizarre to you. We're shifting from this codependence to sovereignty. Hierarchy, you know and I don't, to respect, reawakening. Ownership, you're my helper, my healer, to respect. So boundary invasions right now aren't just these rude people. They're a symptom of the old template cracking, right? So the three main types of invaders, right, are the soft victim invader, number one. They say things like, I hate to bother you, but I'm going to. Or, I know you don't want to help me, but I'm going to ask anyway in a roundabout way. I'm such a burden, but I still need you to help me and to lift me and to fix things. And they're going to ask anyway. Like that's just so, emotionally manipulative to do that to somebody. And then energetically, they throw a self-attack in first, right? I know you might not want to do this. I know you're not doing tarot card readings anymore. Hoping that you'll just rush in and fix it. So underneath that, what they're saying is, and maybe they don't realize that but what they're saying is, if I make myself small enough, you'll feel bad and you'll overextend yourself again. The truth is that their self-dismissal is not humility, it's bait, hoping that you'll take it. Number two, the entitled spiritual consumer. And the language sounds like, can you quickly just you need to tell me what my purpose is, what spirit says. You're supposed to help people, that's your job. Energetically, they see your gifts as a public service, not as a sacred offering, or they see you and what you do as a wealth of knowledge, or you're a carer or something. Oh, you're a carer, let me just ask you, my grandpa's going through da-da-da-da. What could this be? Could you come and take a look at him? They believe their urgency, their stress, their intensity, right? Freaking out about something means that you're obliged to fix it. You're obliged to help, to make this stop. I know some of you know what I'm talking about right away. The truth is they're not asking for guidance. They're demanding through manipulation your access. And they think that you're stupid to boot. Like another insult to throw in there to kick you when you're down. The next part, the hidden competitor, the pattern jammer. This may be someone like they ask for help, then argue with every answer. They say, oh, I already know that, but keep coming back. Oh, I'm doing that, but then they're not. Oh, yeah, I got it. But they don't. They minimize your path while still wanting your energy. Energetically, they don't want to walk their path. They want to measure themselves against yours. They unconsciously try to keep you in a loop where you're constantly proving, explaining, defending, and it's exhausting. So they don't want to hear the truth. They want your frequency without giving anything or everything up. So this is what happens. There's no more of this abuse. So in my experience, I just usually, unless it's something quite if someone goes really over the top or whatever at me, they are not allowed to have even my time in writing back a message, email, whatever, right? It's just done. If they're constantly barraged after I've already told them, it's done. The first time someone tries something like this, I will give them the benefit of the doubt and I will answer whatever it is they've asked me, right? After that, though, no way. No way. So when someone pushes your boundary, you may feel a tightness in your chest and in your throat, a sinking feeling in your stomach, a freeze, like you don't know what to say, so you'll just help. An immediate urge to explain, justify, or soften the answer, right? Yeah, so this is old wiring. Childhood patterns of if I upset them, it's my fault. Past life spiritual timelines of serving the temple at all costs. Community or family dynamics of keep the peace at your own expense. So when we talk about invasion of boundaries, we're not just talking about rude behavior. We're talking about people stepping directly on the part of your nervous system that's been trained to surrender your truth to survive. So think about that for a second. People stepping directly onto the part of the nervous system that's been trained to surrender your truth to survive. This is why even a small ask can feel huge. You're not just saying no to them. You're saying no to every time in your life that you swallowed your needs to keep someone else comfortable. A lot of old spiritual scripting says, say things with love, don't upset the apple cart, always be kind, don't upset anybody. You can be loving and uncompromising. However, instead of saying things like that, which don't allow for your self-expression and your needs, just everybody else's, we fall in line once again of being in service all of the time or else, right? So here's a structure. We can name our truth, not their flaws, right? So instead of saying, you're always draining me, driving me crazy, you can say, I don't have the capacity to offer this kind of support anymore. Instead of, you're so disrespectful, you can say, this doesn't feel respectful to my energy, so I'm stepping back. You know, we have to normalize saying no. We have to normalize actually having our own feelings. People think, Becky, you're just so tough. So I guess they think, you know, you're so tough so I can just throw anything I want at you. I have feelings. And I know that I get caught in quandaries sometimes with certain people because of their health or their mental health or wherever. But if they're not doing what you've been guiding and giving and offering, then do you just keep on guiding and giving and offering on blind ears? You know, like how much does a person do before they have to say no? Because if you're thinking you can just keep up with it and just keep on going and it's okay, it's fine, your body's soon going to tell you that it's not. You're not responsible for diagnosing anybody or anything like that. You're responsible for honoring yourself. And if someone does not respect you for honoring yourself, they never respected you in the first place. Boundaries weaken under too many words. The old pattern is to talk until they approve, or until they understand, or until they accept it. And the new pattern is to just say it once and stop. So I'm no longer available for that. I don't know how. That's a hard one. But people still ask me. That's not something that I offer, I say. I'm changing direction. I'm not taking this on right now. Right? So don't negotiate with the people's actions, because then they may try to over-explain themselves, or cry, or get angry, or play a victim, or twist it back at you again. So you're allowed to feel how you feel. I'm still not changing my boundary. So you can validate their feelings without undoing your decisions. And again, these are things I'm talking to my son about this morning. Now, you know, what happens when he tells his dad something, for example, is that his dad will get into competition with him and say, you don't have it as hard as me. You should hear what I'm going through and what I've had to deal with. And if you had to walk a day in my shoes. So he's saying, look, I've got this issue. I'd like to talk to my dad about it. And he's saying, well, mine are bigger than yours. And, you know, you're not as tough. It's not as hard for you as it is for me. And you've got it easy. Right? So one of the things you can say to someone that's carrying on like that when that's not what you asked, or is losing track of the conversation because they're always in competition with you and who's hurting more and who's got more issues than the other or whatever, you could say, now I know you didn't mean to say that, but, and why do you put it like that? You know, because it actually stops them for a second. And you're trying to stop someone from, you know, picking on you or emotionally overwhelming you. You say, I know you didn't mean to say that. And it stops people in their tracks every single time. And they may be thinking, yes, I did. I did mean to say that. In which case, they're totally mean. They don't like you, right? But if they do truly care and they've just gotten themselves overwhelmed, they'll be like, you're right. You know, I didn't mean to say that, or I didn't mean to say it like that, or whatever. Right? So, the old paths can be tempting to walk again. Because when an old pattern knocks, you'll think to yourself, no one needs to know, I'm just going to do this one more time. It will be easier to say yes than deal with this drama, as we've said before. I don't want them to think badly of me. I want to be able to help. I know I can do it. I know I can help, right? But your soul is doing something else. The soul is saying, or the old path is saying to you, do you remember when you used to rescue everybody? Do you remember when you were the on-call person? Do you remember when everyone picked your brains but nothing ever happened from it? Do you remember when you're the one who fixed everything, knew exactly what to say, all of that? There's identity. There's familiarity with it. And the uncomfortable truth is sometimes we keep letting our boundaries get invaded because the role of giver feels safer than the unknown or being truly sovereign. A lot of it has to do with our programming of, you know, in order to get anywhere in this life, you have to give. Don't be greedy. Don't take anything for it. Just continue to give and you'll be rewarded. When? By who? Like, what's the gauge? How many years? Like, how long do you go through something like that? You know? Sovereignty can feel lonely at first. You can lose people who only came for what they could take from you. You couldn't imagine it because you thought these people were good, right? Clients preferring dependency over growth and trying to gaslight you into feeling like you have to do something. Relationships that were built on you shrinking yourself to fit the situation, to fit the narrative, to fit the family get together. But sovereignty creates space for allies who respect your time and energy, which of course is all you want. Who doesn't? Who doesn't want someone to respect their time and energy? Who doesn't want someone to appreciate their knowledge? Who doesn't want someone to appreciate the job that they do? All of you. I know it, right? So when you do create your boundaries properly and you stick to them, even if someone keeps throwing out all of their BS trying to get you to pull back in, you just block and delete. The same that you do to your own energy, and it's done. They can think whatever they like. It's one person against a whole bunch of others that love you. Clients who integrate, not just consume. They're really listening to what you're saying. You know, if you're a physio, a therapist, right? Imagine working on someone's knee. But you know they're not doing it because the next week they come along, there's no progression, there's no nothing. How long do you continue to work on that exercise for their knee? Or say, we can no longer help you? See? When you are in your sovereignty, you create space for relationships that see the real you, not just the useful you. Little psychic Becky. Little healer, she'll do it all. She'll tell us all. She'll give it to us. We got free stuff. We got it all. We can just write to her. She'll send it out. She'll get it going. She'll tell her team, and away she goes. You can say that if you feel alone in setting boundaries, you're not failing. You're clearing the field so people who recognize your true value can finally see you. So, put your hand, so this is where you're going to feel in your body where yes is, okay? So put a hand, okay, on a body part that lights up when you get a genuine less. Yes, it might be a heart, the solar plexus, throat, crown, okay? Just somewhere easy for you to focus on. So what you do, okay, we have our flame on, okay? We have our fire wall around us. It's strong, it's sturdy. We have our mirror flame around this. We are grounded and connected. So say out loud, okay? Show me what a true yes feels like in my body. Put your hand right on it. For me, it's right in my heart. For you, you may feel it somewhere else. You might even feel it right here. Okay? Remember that. Remember a yes. Remember a time you generally wanted to do something, no pressure or guilt. Let that warmth register for you. Generally want to help. You generally want to do it. You don't want to be guilted into it. You don't want to be asked with passive aggressiveness. But you generally want to help in a situation, yes. Okay. Now, so what this does is it teaches your intuition for a body check-in. Does this feel right? Yes. If not, this is what we're going to ask for now. Again, what does a no feel like in your body? For me, it's lower belly. It tightens. So you think of a time that you did something that you had to do it. Dread, fearing upsetting somebody. Tension, like my body is getting tense just telling you about it. Tense, heaviness, ache, or feels really tight and constricted. So this is my body telling the truth even when my mouth doesn't. Okay? This is a yes for me. I already feel, when I say yes, I feel warmth go out from under my hands. A no for me is further down in the navel area for me. It might be somewhere different for you. And that starts feeling sickly and tight and constricted. And that's my no. My body is telling me no to this situation. So, Here's the declaration. I commit to honoring my no when my body tells me the truth. I'm not going to force myself to walk old paths just because someone else is uncomfortable there or comfortable there. My body is my boundary compass, and I trust its signals. So, I now release the role of the endless helper, giver, caretaker, whatever it is for you. I release the contract that says I need to bleed to be loved, overgive to be valued, or stay small to be accepted. I'm releasing all of that. I call back my energy from every timeline where my boundaries were ignored, my needs were shamed, and my no was punished. From this moment on, my life is no longer built around who needs me the most, but around what my soul is truly here to do. My truth is not an attack. My boundaries are not cruelty. My path is not up for negotiation. Those who honor that are welcome. Those who cannot are gracefully released. That's just how it is. We choose our path, we choose our energy, and we choose ourselves. The hardest part of moving forward is admitting to yourself where you've allowed things to get in or allowed something to creep its way into your life, right? Or you felt bad because you've had to do something or whatever. Now, what you're understanding is the more that you give to yourself, okay, the more you actually receive. Not the more you give, the more you receive. It doesn't work that way. It ends in exhaustion. The more you give, the more you give. That's where that ends. And we've been taught not to be selfish, and we've been taught all of these things that have kept us in line. Right? And it's not selfish to take care of yourself. What good are you if you don't put the oxygen mask on yourself first before you help anybody else? You see? If you can't save anybody if you don't know how to save yourself. And if you do know what you're doing, then go ahead and do it. Right? It's like there are no accolades, unfortunately, or pats on the back or anything like that in our lifetime usually. If we get one, it's a bonus. It's nice, but it's a bonus. It's not something that happens. For me, no news is good news. If I don't hear from somebody, I'm not like thinking to myself, oh, I wonder if I've done something wrong. That doesn't enter into my head. It used to when I was younger. Now I'm just like, oh, well, no news is good news. I don't need to receive even a thank you. That's on somebody else. If someone can't see what you're doing or how you've helped them, or maybe they can, but they got busy, whatever it is, it's none of my business. When I'm finished what I'm doing, I shut the door. I disconnect. Otherwise, you can get yourself into that rut of wondering why, and that spirals into all the reasons why it's you. That's never a good thing, is it? Okay? We're ending this helpless healer, helpless, contract. We're understanding that our boundaries, it's not mean, it's not nasty, it's just giving someone the truth. And if they can't handle the truth, it's none of your concern. It doesn't make you any less of a person for actually being honest, Now, I wouldn't say that I would go out of my way to go messaging every single person that I have on my email list or whatever and say, no more. That's it. I'm done. I wouldn't do that. But I would wait. I would wait until the opportunity arises. And if someone questions me or throws a jab or get an energetic hook or something or calls me a bitch or something, Someone said that once to me, just they were pretending or they were talking about something else and then saying, oh, I found you, you bitch. And I'm like, okay. You think I don't know what that was? You know what I mean? And it's like, immediately when someone does something or exposes that or shows you who they are, right? It's your decision whether you continue with that energy or not. It's like anything else. If you get into a relationship with someone and they start calling you all names, well, it's your decision. It's your choosing to stay there, work it out or not. You see? With anything in your life. But every time you let someone else have the advantage or have more kindness than you give to yourself, you lose, you deplete every single time. And then you might wonder why something's not working or something's not mending or something's not healing. Where does there need to be forgiveness, love, and appreciation for you, rather than guilt and obligation to everything else? Right? It is an evolving game. It is constantly changing. Things are constantly moving. The flame journey just takes care of no more silence. It just takes care of things if you're actually on it. And unfortunately, some people are listening to far too many different channels, right? They're getting confused. And, you know, what anybody listens to, what they believe in or whatever is none of my business. But what you will find is that if someone continually comes to you and asks you something, guaranteed they're asking quite a few others the same thing to see which one gives them the answer that they were thinking. That's how it works. And that's just going in these big looping arches and then back to yourself and around and around and around. And what we do on our spiritual journey, like, you know, what we're processing, what we're doing, all the writing I'm doing and everything, I keep a lot of this to myself. Believe it or not, you guys are getting a lot of information, but there's tons that I've got to myself here, because at the right time it will all come forward. But believe me, I'm not going to somebody else asking them what they think about this or that or the other before I do it. You'll never get that from me. I do it all myself. And luckily we have Google Docs that can write, and Gemini and things like that can write all of your PDFs and things for me now. It's just so easy. So it's a lot easier than it used to be. So one more thing here. I created a post. I do a couple of different posts each day on my Patreon, Facebook, you know, YouTube, all that sort of stuff. So today, this was the free message. It's interesting. Energy today is about clarity after confusion. What's been foggy or looping in your mind starts to come into focus. You see through a story, yours or someone else's. A decision you've delayed suddenly feels obvious. You're nudged to speak more honestly, even if it's scary. You're here to set a boundary. Gentle on reactions, firm on truth. I welcome truth, and I choose responses that protect my peace. How simple is that, right? And I talk about the Hidden Flame Library webinar happening on the 28th of December. This is YouTube live. It's a private link. It's $55. So this is where we open the banned pages of your soul library and clear out false spiritual archives so your real path can come online brightly, easily. Okay? It's very interesting what's happening here. So the energy is clarity after confusion. Wait, one more second here. And then where is this thing now? Okay. All right. There's something here. I'm sorry. My thing is not working as fast as my brain is working. Okay, so here. All right, here we go. Right. So I will give you a little message that I gave to the Flame Tier members today. That I'm not going to tell you everything that I wrote, but the theme was choosing the new story on purpose, right? Choosing the new story on purpose. So things were pushed to the surface. Truth. And today is about what you do and what you saw. You may notice that you're less tolerant of old dynamics, even if you can't fully walk away yet. See how this is all talking about the boundary thing. Feeling a strange mix of relief and grief about who or what you're outgrowing. Craving quiet more than chaos. You notice that anytime that you're just like in a peaceful spot, that the shitstorm around you starts circling faster and spinning tighter. How are you going to react to this? Is it going to be the same old you? Oh, I'll go help. Here I go. I'm going to help. Is it the same old you or what? This is the space that feels like, I can't live like this anymore. I'm doing life differently now. You're not meant to fix everything at once. Or explain yourself, or over-explain, or overdo, or overthink, or overwork, or any of it. Right? You're meant to take a step that belongs to the new story. And stop feeding one thing that clearly belongs to the old story. It could look like not replying instantly, as I said, saying this doesn't work for me once, and working on what nourishes you first instead of last. So your power isn't in convincing other people to understand you, or explaining your awakening, or where you're at, or arguing with people who are committed to misunderstanding you. The power is in what you give your nervous system to, where your attention goes into the first hour of the day. The agreements you renew or quietly let expire. So what am I still agreeing to that I already know is finished? So don't renew that agreement with your time, attention, or energy. The era of guilt for people who are healers and givers and readers and spiritual kind people. The reason that we got into this is usually because no one understood us. No one was kind. No one was understanding. And we were pushed to breaking point from the time we were small children. We had nothing. We were given nothing. We were given nothing and expected all of this out of us all the time, or we were bad. The old programming and the old I've got to do and the old worthiness through other people's gratitude or whatever, the old giving until we're absolutely exhausted, have a problem, have an issue, have a health problem or concern or whatever, understanding that you don't have to be somebody who bends over backwards all of the time, or you'll be someone that's broken. That's just how it works. Because the reason why spirituality has to change, okay, and the way that we've done things has to change, is because the old energy of looping around in circles has gotten the energetic person or the healer or the guide or whatever absolutely nowhere, other than feeling more depleted, more frustrated, and worthless. instead of being empowered and strengthened and focused and healthy and moving ahead. I do more now in less time than I've ever done in the last 35 years. I work mostly mornings up until after lunch. Sometimes I have to work in the afternoons, right? But I get it all done. I start super early in the morning. I have 6 dogs. We have a property here. We have to cut our own wood. We have to split our wood. We have to stack our wood. And we have to bring our wood inside. We have to fix things by ourselves. We don't have parents with money. We don't have kids with money, right? We're just trying to make it day by day. There's things with the well house. There's things with our shed that we have. There's things that need fixing that are falling apart. Like my oven is falling apart right now, right? There are things that happen all over. And there are things that have to be done, right? But I turn up pretty much every single day because I know that there is so much of you that are feeling the flame. When you feel the flame, you get really, really on track with your life. And every time we get on track with our life, there's some sort of distraction. There's some sort of chaos. Something breaks. Someone's broken. Something needs fixing. Something's set on fire over here. This is broken. That's broken. The dog's getting out. This is happening. This one's ripping this one's face off. We just had that a few weeks ago. Just all of a sudden, it's a moon thing with these huskies. And don't have 2 girls together if you're going to have huskies, unless they're babies together or brother and sisters or whatever. But the girls, whoo, when that goes off, it goes off. Then we've got Needy Cisco, who's our oldest husky. He's Needsco. He comes in, he goes out, he comes in, he goes out. He wants a rub, he doesn't. He wants to go outside, he wants everyone to go with him. The weather is raining, he wants me to stop the rain. It's mental, right? He's gone cuckoo. It's funny though at the same time. But it's Needsco. He needs a treat, he doesn't want a treat. He wants a back rub. He presents his butt to me to rub his back. Like, if I'm trying to play Yahtzee and I'm rubbing with the other hand. Like, this is the life you live. It's not just, let's just go and, I got to do a video this morning. What a lovely day. Oh, it's beautiful out there, isn't it? No, there's already been 1,000 things that have happened this day. Right? Phone calls, sorting out, organizing this and that, back and forth, up and down, making this, making that, do this, or get the lunch. Go. Like, everybody goes through their stuff, right? Everybody goes through their stuff. The thing is we're not renewing our agreements to stay small, to help everybody, to shrink how we feel so everyone feels comfortable, to stop, over-giving and over-performing, hoping that will be noticed or hoping that someone will appreciate it. Those days are over. I know many people who work in caring things, like nurses and even doctors and, old age caregivers and things like that. Overworked, completely stressed out, like all of the time. And they feel bad about saying no to demands on their time. Oop, it's 111. To demands on their time because they're supposed to be, after all, this is my job. I could lose my job. I could not be able to pay, there's unnecessary tension and stress and nervous anxiety and, they become extremely emotionally exhausted and, stressed out. Teachers the same. Just constantly burnt out, constantly burning the candles at both ends because I gotta. And that stuff has to stop. Flame sovereignty doesn't ask you to do anything that you don't want to do. It also asks you to remain on the timeline that you're actually trying to create. It asks you to recenter yourself, though, if you start spiraling over here again, or you start stressing about something, to bring yourself back into alignment. That your guardians and your ancestors and your angels and your guides and all of that speak with you telepathically. So to not look outside of yourself everywhere all of the time, to hear what you already know to be true. You know, the agreements that you renew or that you quietly expire or whatever is up to you. There's bullies in this work and people who force you to do things that you don't want to do because you are who you are. No more. That can only happen with your choosing. And if you don't want to do something and you say no, you cannot care whether someone else is going to have a hissy fit or a tantrum about it. That's their unhealed reality. And it's time that, you know, spiritual people, spiritual guides, spiritual teachers and things like that also recognize their exhaustion and also recognize that they are banging their head against a brick wall. By constantly keeping people asking for more is not the answer. The answer is to ignite, to renew, to awaken what the person already knows, to allow the original divine blueprint to re-establish itself in your gridding of yourself. And when that happens, it's like the light is switched on. And no longer do you care so much about so many things all at once. And what you do is what's in front of you. And you're grateful, and you're giving, and you're loving, yes. But you're not exhausted, emotionally unavailable, unable to keep going and giving up. As we focus, okay, and regain our original blueprint without all the trauma, without all the betrayal, without all of the BS, right? We regain that. And as we do, we've got to get used to that as our nervous system rewires itself to occupy a new vibration moving through your body. And this is why I'm here. If the truth of the matter is that I am here because spirituality as we know it is about to die. And the flame's sovereignty, in fact your sovereignty of who you are and your focus is online. It is big. It is spreading further and wider than you can imagine. And every single person that just decides and just accepts for a second that you're much, much more powerful than you ever knew yourself to be, that you're more capable than you've ever given yourself credit for, that your body always knows whether it's right or whether it's wrong or in alignment or not, that you're constantly protected as soon as you ask for it and establish your boundaries, etc. As soon as more people start to know this, then it goes by proxy to everyone around them. That means those not aligned drop off, and those aligned notice it and come back forward. I've had people come back from one of my first videos and say, oh my God, I watched you back in 2010. Look at you go. Now look at you, right? All that sort of thing. Or I haven't seen you for ages and suddenly you came across my thing. I don't know how I couldn't come across someone's feed after all of these years online, but I am now. Coming back in everybody's energy field, right? Because people are switching on. Whatever work you've done is spreading far and wide. What with this work with us in our home, we don't even have to say anything, and the sons are feeling it. The kids are feeling it. The dogs are feeling it. And yeah, they fight and they carry on and they have their thing, but their energy has also shifted into a new vibration because they're experiencing the flame infusion method for animals. And they all line up. It's so adorable. They line up. And when they figured out that my husband does it as well, they're lining up for him also to feel his flame, to feel his energy. It's awesome. I've filmed some of it. I'm going to film it from start to finish for you all. So it's so cute. So even though there are things that come to test your patience and stresses and all those sorts of things, it doesn't mean what you're doing is not working. But how you react has to change. And if you're staying on the line of no, the answer is no. Let's get back to where we were going. So if someone starts to emotionally ping you, All you have to do is say, well, it looks like we're getting right out of hand here. So the matter of fact is, whatever it was. Let's get back to the matter at hand. We're going around in circles right now, right? I know you don't mean to say this, but, right? So we regain, we restructure. The body starts to repair quickly, okay? The cells regenerate. The DNA goes right back to how the original blueprint was. Wow. We didn't even have to wait for a spaceship to come and get us. We're already having it happen. You can see it. You can see it. You can sense it. I can hear it from you when you put a comment like how it's bursting through your life. How something changed this Thanksgiving for you. Or whatever family function you had. How everyone knew it was different. Right? We always say, if our neighbor knows that we're about to say something like enough of this or whatever, they won't say it because they know the energy's right there. We're choosing a story where we're honest with ourselves. First, you matter. You've always mattered. Now, whether someone's projected all their unhealed, manipulative BS on you and you've taken it to heart and absorbed it and felt like you were worthless, I get it. I was called useless my whole life, especially as a child. Useless, all the time. You're useless. Get out of the way. You're useless. You can't do it. You're useless. Because I was clumsy. Well, I wasn't useless, but I was clumsy. So the whole time, you're feeling like you're an inconvenience, right? Your whole life. And so that you must prove yourself somewhere. This is the permission not to prove yourself anymore, but to just be exactly how you are. Quiet riot lover or not. Wear your hair however you want it or not, right? Whatever it is that makes you, you. Be you. So, what is an action my future self is going to thank me for today? This is the action. My future self is going to say, thank God you cut all that off. Oh my God, it's about time. What were you thinking all that time? You weren't thinking, were you? You were just doing and doing and doing and doing and hoping that it would change something or somewhere, or a magic wand would pop on your head and all of a sudden your life's all better. It's got to after all this work, right? It's not how it works. What is your future self telling you? Thank God you are where you are today, because if you kept on going where you were going, we all know what was going to happen then, right? You're standing exactly where your new story can begin. Let's not go backwards in the book, okay? What is going to be on the next pages? It is your choice. It is your choice. Yes, I offer transmission readings, but it's about looking at the field, seeing where the timeline is, making the necessary adjustments. The Vault Immersion program is the intense program of mentorship in whatever you want for a matter of 3 months. Again, this may not be there forever, because working the one-on-one is not helping the whole collective. I want to teach you how to work with the one-on-one, okay? But these things are still there. The webinars each month, the Flame Infusion Reset, Body Reset, is also available beginning January the 10th to work with me live for 4 sessions. This is a group session. You all won't see each other, okay? I'll be the one you see. And you can all, chat with each other in the Telegram group. But that's a reset for you. The Flame Infusion method will be a course that you can become a practitioner of. Okay? It's going to be amazing. It's changing everything. So there are things that are moving ahead. Tarot readings are no more. We don't need them. You don't need them. What you need to do is listen to the messages that you're receiving within. I will, however, from time to time do what I call doorway transmissions, where we'll pull up a few oracle cards that are going to tell us exactly what we already knew, until the point comes where we just don't need any of that at all, or you don't. I personally like teaching, love it, sharing, giving, writing, and sharing with you what I'm working on or whatever. All of the information starts to come, all of the hidden stuff starts to be revealed, and it's time we all, as beings of flame here, okay, we want to go back to how things were before the infiltration, before the darkness took over spirituality. Long time ago, and changed everything, keeping spiritual people in dependency loops, keeping spiritual teachers in giving roles, keeping us all dependent and codependent on each other. And all of that has to stop. There's more information, there's more to come, there's bigger reveals happening as well. And I thank you all so much for being here. I hope you did like today's video. I hope it made sense to you, as always. And maybe you've encountered some of these things yourself. I'm sure you have. But just know, okay, how you're going to react. What's your future self saying to you? Is it already congratulating you for how far you've already come? Because mine is. Mine's like, oh, God, thank God. Thank God. Okay, you stopped all that nonsense. Thank God. Okay, here we go. So, see you all soon in the next video, of course. Hope to see you on the 28th. All the links are in the posts here. And until the next time, lots of love. Of course, stay strong, in flame, and flame on. Okay, bye for now.